Hey, it's time for the Book and His Boss. I'm Caputo, sports columnist for the Oakland Press. This is my boss, sports editor Jeff Kuehn. Quite enthusiastic today about all the topics that we're talking about. Number one on the list, of course, Jeff, those Detroit Lions. I saw our football preview section. Pretty optimistic guy there. I mean, I'm getting hammered for picking them to win 8 games. You pick them to win 9. Not only to win 9, but to make the playoffs.
75 reasons why this is right here, right now, Pat. I think we nailed it pretty well.
My column was number 55. Toughness.
I'm telling you what.
Oh, it looked good. The section looked good. If you get a chance, pick it up.
In my lifetime, as I said, the Lions will win. We'll get to the Super Bowl. Just this probably won't be that year. But hey, the only reason I said 9 wins, the only reason I said playoffs is you go looking through the NFC. Who's better? Who flat out do you say is a playoff team other than Dallas and the Giants? I mean,
Well, the Eagles. Well, I'm picking to go to the Super Bowl.
Eagles have, yeah, that was a
Seahawks. Seahawks are better. Bucks, they're better. Saints probably better.
In the Lions division, flat out, who's
Minnesota?
You gotta say flat out Minnesota is miles ahead of Detroit.
No, not really, but I think they're they have a great offensive line. They got Adrian Peterson. And they signed Jared Allen, who had 15 sacks last year for their defense. And they already had a top-notch defensive line. So I think Minnesota's clearly better. I think the Packers played into their hands by letting Brett Favre go. That was mysterious. But I think the Lions will be respectable. I think they'll get off to a good start. That schedule gets kind of ominous after the second half of the year. I think they'll do better this year than they did last year, but I think they'll finish just out of the playoffs. I got question marks about their depth at running back, even with the signing of Rudy Johnson. That could be either really good or mean nothing. I mean, nobody knows. Even Rudy Johnson probably doesn't know. Offensive line, I don't know much more about it now than I did before the preseason. And their linebacking core is a concern. If you don't have depth at linebacker and you got a couple guys who are basically special teams aces starting for you, and that's what Paris Lennon and Alex Lewis are, that takes away from your special teams coverage unit. So there's some holes there. Calvin Johnson's a positive thing, obviously. Their passing game should be prolific, and Kidna is better than most quarterbacks in the NFC. But I think the Lions will be better. But playoffs, I wasn't willing to quite go that far.
There are holes, but there are holes everywhere in the NFC. It's not the AFC. The opportunity's there. Yeah, 8-8's great. It's building on what they've started. I go 9-7 because I'm a little optimistic.
But they better beat Atlanta.
They better beat Atlanta. And
there's no excuse for that.
And they better beat Green Bay in week 2 also, with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback.
They're at home.
They have a good opportunity to get off to a good start.
Atlanta's got a new coach, rookie quarterback, and that hasn't happened since 1989, and that Dallas team went 1-15. They ended up being very good, ultimately a championship team, but not very good right to begin with. We were both at the Michigan game on Saturday. That offense, I was trying to figure out what it looked like, a plate full of Brussels sprouts or a bowl full of just bland oatmeal.
It was like maple without the butter and sugar.
There you go.
It was bad. It was, how can you run the spread offense with quarterbacks that can't run or throw? I mean, it was defensively they got after it, especially in the second half, and it left room for, hey, maybe the defense could win a couple games, but they say the biggest improvement is from week 1 to week 2. I'm sure hoping for that.
Well, the one thing about it is the defense, if they had held them in the first half, Michigan still would have won that game.
That's right.
23 points is enough for them.
But by the same token, Utah gave away many opportunities to put that game far out of reach.
Right. It was an odd beginning. Michigan State's beginning, kind of the same old thing as last year. The close but no cigar thing. Yeah, they're always going to be in games. It seems like D'Antonio's got some pretty good sound fundamentals going there. But last year they lost a lot of games just like that, where they just weren't able to get it done at the end. And if you're going to be tough and you're getting outrushed by nearly a 3-1 margin, I think that's another concern.
It is a concern for them, but they were expected to go out there and lose that game. In fact, they went out there and made a good game of it, and right up to the end, had chances to pull it out. Why is it, Pat? And I'll ask you this: why do teams have a hard time going from the East out to the West to play the Pac-10, but not vice versa?
Well, sometimes the Pac-10 teams struggle here, sometimes they don't. But yeah, I agree with you. It just seems like it's like making a trip to Tibet or something. And every time I've been out on one of those trips, or even remember one of those trips, it's always been the Big Ten team not coming home successful, and that includes the Rose Bowl a lot of the time. So I don't know. It's a mystery. It really is. And Michigan State, they gave up a chance to score at the end of the first half. They gave up a special teams touchdown. At the end of the game, they had the ball on their 50-yard line, and Hoyer wasn't able to get it done again. 4 straight. The good thing, Farmington Harrison's Mark Dell. Looks like he may replace Devin Thomas as the playmaker that they're missing.
Played a great game. And I'll tell you, if you're comparing the two programs from last week, who do you see having the biggest upside as the season progresses? I saw a lot more out of Michigan State that was positive than I did out of Michigan.
Well, I still think Michigan will be there at the end. I'm still sticking by they'll win 9 games.
We'll see.
Hey, where's the string jacket?
I'm not as optimistic about
That's
that.
why they got this white background here, because it's actually, they put me in an asylum for picking Michigan to win 9 games.
You wanted us
But
to
you got the Lions going to the playoffs.
You want us to film this in the newsroom, and I'll tell you, this is why
Well, we
we're
might
back
one
here
day.
in the back room, because
We don't want anybody to hear our predictions.
That's
That's absolutely true.
Statements like that.
But anyway, that's it for his book and his boss this week. Don't forget to check out the blogs. Paul LePache writes a Big Ten one. Jim Hawkins on the Tigers. Dave Burkett, wildly popular one on the Lions. Dana Garuder on the Pistons. Bruce McLeod on the Red Wings. And check out MI Prep Zone at miprepzone.com. We got the preps covered like crazy. Big game tonight coming up, or tomorrow night. Stony Creek versus Rochester Adams. I wrote about that in Friday's Oakland Press in my column. So until next week, we'll see you. He's Jeff Kuehn. I'm Pat Caputo. Have a great week.